What's up, guys? Got a little different setup today. Lady Prime took the laptop for work, so I'm going strictly off my phone. My plan was to have two phones so that I could highlight the comments from my other phone, and I don't know where I put it. So Shane Show was here first. Fantastic. Brian LCS, hello from New York. I'm not sure, Mr. L, I've ever seen you in my chat before. So fantastic, fantastic. Hope everybody's having a great day. Just well, look at this. Neil collects. Hello from Arkansas, or yeah, hello from Guy, Arkansas. So fantastic. Let me. I'm just gonna sip real quick. Like I said, different setup, same location, different setup, and I screwed up because I'm doing multiple things. I'm not on the schedule for work tonight, and it's a real hard thing to show up at work when you're off the schedule because that was my original plans. But I'm trying to do a lot of things around the place. I've been going through comics, organizing, filing things away. And when I say filing things away, I'm literally putting them into a filing cabinet. I had the opportunity to buy a bunch of filing cabinets on the cheap. I'm rigging them up so that books will not get damaged in them. The only problem is they don't match the filing cabinet I have already, where I'm able to basically put two long boxes side by side per drawer. These, it's about one long box per drawer because I can't stand them up, so I'm laying them on their side. I'm figuring out which way I want to do that. But I'm trying to just get a full filing cabinet of Superman books. Uh, it may wind up being two full cabinets of Superman books. We'll see how it goes. Um, everybody telling everybody hello. Good to see you guys. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I know we at the Prime household, we had a good one. Wrestlemania weekend this past weekend, and I got to say that night one of Wrestlemania was one of the most fantastic just shows, top to bottom. No real dull points, just kind of good fun all along. I think the idea of limiting how many matches you have crammed into one night, the idea of doing two nights has been helping them out. I think that's great. Night two, not as strong as night one, but definitely delivered in the matches that needed to, especially the main event. Neil collects. Guys, be sure to enter my 1K giveaway. I'm watching a week or so. I'm waiting a week or so. I'm sorry. I can't talk apparently. I'm waiting a week or so just to be sure the 1K holds out. Yeah. And so, so I hit 300 Saturday during the Saturday morning stretch. Manny used his teaching account to do a favor for me and pushed me to 300. And not long after that, I hit 301. I jumped in on somebody's chat and was just chatting with everybody in that chat. It's one of Neil's friends. She does the and I can't think of what they're called now. We put the plastic pieces on one of those plates that has points sticking to it. You create art with it. I cannot think of what it's called. And just chatting with people there, following them, go and check out their shorts. And then I had a bunch of subs. I jumped up to 306, and then Sunday it was 304. Before I went to sleep, it was 303, and when I woke up this morning, it was 301. It is what it is. I mean, that's just the game now, right? Yes, Sam McGregor. That's right. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Neil. Always cool checking her out. It's a pretty active chat. I'm a little jealous because I believe her channel got started after mine. The Perler beads. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Yeah, fantastic chat. Just a cool hangout while she's doing things and kind of talking and interacting with the chat. So had the opportunity to meet some new people there. I was talking Saturday morning about my new family member, this cold sore. I get cold sores anytime my body is stressed, anytime I'm not getting enough sleep, they will happen. I had no issues until 2005. I got real sick Thanksgiving week or Thanksgiving week. I worked in a freezer truck that week at an old job. Got extremely sick, and from now on, like if I don't get enough sleep, or if I'm going through something that's extremely stressful, I am going to just I'm going to be looking pretty ugly. So it was kind of helpful when I had to wear a mask to work because no one ever knew. But it is what it is, and then I keep messing with it too. This is absolutely true. Neil knows everyone and everything. And I'm sorry that I'm moving the camera every time I highlight these, but I don't want you guys to think I'm not paying attention. And Neil gets around. If I can, I would look for my phone, but I'm not sure where I put it. Maybe over by the sink because I was doing dishes before I walked over here. And when I say doing dishes, Neil, you already know I'm letting dishes soak. So yeah, use protection, Neil. Had the opportunity to run out of town yesterday. I was looking for some Transformers. So I've got two, I'm going to call them cities, but they're very, very small cities. So I'm located here, 1 hour this way, 1 hour this way. I had already been to Corpus last Friday or the previous Friday, did some comic hunting, did some toy, toy spotting, didn't find anything. Comic wise, I had gone to the half price books and it was just a terrible, terrible experience. Books were a mess. There was one customer there who insisted on talking to me while I was hunting for books. It would have been fine if it was like coherent conversation, but it was just one of those. Oh, my uncle has one of these books and it's worth $20,000 and blah blah blah. You seen those in here? And if he happens to catch the replay, I'm sorry, buddy. But I was just not. I was not in that kind of frame of mind. I just wanted to go dig the books, and it was not a peaceful experience. It's already a small section as it is, so you're almost on top of each other if multiple people are looking at books. So I kind of walked away, touched base with Lady Prime in the store. She was buying books for Ollie, and then she left, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just head out. Let me just head out. Forgetting that I did see a Thor variant cover of the old Marvel Masterpiece cards. I really, really like that. And I was like, oh, if I buy that, it's nothing at all. I can do it in a giveaway. And I forgot. So it is what it is. But I did find the Transformers that I showed off last week. Yesterday went the other way. It's a little town called Victoria. You guys may remember Stone Cold Steve Austin was billed as being from Victoria, Texas. It's not where he was from. He was from Edna, Texas, a place I spent some of my childhood in. A lady my dad was dating after my parents split up was the manager of the Pizza Hut there. And so we would, do the every other weekend thing. Well, I don't know if I'm doing dishes, but they're definitely getting done. They're soaking. So used to spend some time every other weekend at Edna. You guys come from divorced parents who share custody. You may know what I'm speaking about. So Edna, Victoria, two different places, but had the opportunity to go to. No, I thought Mankind was from parts unknown, and I thought Undertaker was supposed to be from like Death Valley. Had the opportunity to go to Victoria. Went looking for Transformers. I'm trying to complete my Stunticon set, Metasaur. I have two of the pieces, but the Walmarts where I work, or the town I work in, and then the town I live in, they have not gotten any of the new Transformers series. It's called Transformers Legacy. Wave 1 is the last wave, and this was maybe almost a year ago, maybe 8 to 12, 10 months ago. Wave 1 is the only wave those Walmarts have gotten. They have gotten the Walmart exclusives. There's a subline called the Cybertronian 500 or something like that. The Velocitron 500. We've gotten those at those two stores, but have not got any of the mainline legacy figures after Wave 1. And so I'm trying to complete the Metasaur set. There's 5 figures that you got to combine together to make a giant robot. I have 3 of the 5. But yeah, collecting with Durs. Hello, my beautiful homies at work, but stopping by quick. Appreciate that, Durs. I was able to jump into your Sunday sesh yesterday before WrestleMania for the first time in quite a while. Normally I'm working Sunday nights. I did highlight that in your chat. I called it out that night that Roman was going to continue to reign after WrestleMania. And I was kind of just saying it to troll, just to troll. And then as the night wore on, I was like, you know what? I bet that's what's going to happen. And sorry, guys, if you didn't watch the show and that's a spoiler, Roman Reigns did indeed win. So going back to the toy hunting in Victoria, Texas, I was able to pick up the needle nose So they've already moved on from just the Legacy line to Legacy Evolution, which is a bad sign for me trying to get those Stunticons because they are the original Legacy line. Um, Needle Nose here, and I'll do a video on it because I know I'll be able to get better images. Uh, but Needle Nose is one of the characters that I originally owned. Me and my brother, it's actually my brother's toy. We owned back in the day. And one thing that I'm really big on buying Transformers nowadays is if I can find an update of a figure we had back in the day, like it just does something to my heart. I don't know if it's kicking me in the nostalgia. If it's just now I can have a better representation of the battles I had as a kid. I mean, you guys can see stickers are wearing off. It's got major discoloring, the yellowing of the plastic. Same thing on this side. Stickers are wearing down. But love this figure. Absolutely love this toy. I don't want to say he's been damaged or destroyed, but rather he was well loved. He was definitely a well loved figure. We did not have Starscream back in the day, and so maybe me and my brother were not creative enough to create new new character types. But Needle Nose here definitely played the role of the scheming and the conniving Decepticon Starscream in our battles, in our head cannon, our bedroom cannon, whatever you want to call it. So yeah. So definitely really cool. And like I said, I will post a video with these guys comparing them. Just a major update to it. So really excited to add Needle Nose to the collection. Oh, I'm sorry. Durs calling it that Cody will win at SummerSlam, and I did this back when my camera should be the other way, so I don't get my finger in the way. I apologize. Lady Prime is in the chat. I'm assuming you're at lunch, Lady Prime. Lady Prime has the laptop once again because she is doing some testing at work. Lady Prime, are you using your work laptop, or did you wind up having to use ours? Shane Show, I feel it's going to be the bloodline that takes it from him at this rate. I feel that he has to break up first, and Cody gets him all alone. What I feel like, if you want to make, and I've said this before in another stream, if you want to make that story go full circle, it has to be Jey Uso who takes the title from Roman. I know that's not what's going to happen because they don't see Jey as this this single star. They don't even see him as a big enough star, to be on Roman's level. But if you want that story to go full circle, because remember when Roman Reigns got the title, defeated Bray Wyatt, and I think they had another pay-per-view where they had a rematch or whatever. But one of his first challengers, Jey Uso, and just the way he beat down Jey Uso. Remember, it's during the pandemic, so they didn't have a crowd, and you could hear Roman talk. This is when the character really, that was like almost the best thing for Roman because you could hear his character talk, and he was beating Jey Uso up, and it's kind of where the tribal chief aspect was born. Well, Bor, man, all right, man, have a good day at work. I appreciate you jumping in and saying hi. But it began with Jey Uso, and then I think the next pay-per-view they had the Hell in a Cell, and it's just Jey Uso taking a beating and eventually aligning with Roman Reigns with the Bloodline storyline. I think if you want that story to go full circle, Jey has to turn on Roman and the Bloodline. I thought they should have did that with the Sami Zayn stuff. I think they kind of teased it. Have Jey Uso go full circle and be the guy that destroys the Roman reign, if you will. I know that's not what's going to happen. If I was doing the storytelling, though, that's what I would do. Let me go back and check the chat. I see that Doc's Cards is here. What's up, man? I hope you're having a good day. And I hope you hit those. I know you were trying to hit, what would you, I believe you were trying to hit 420, I believe, in your sub counts. Yes, Intercontinental title was the match. That was a great match. I was talking with Bottom Tier a little bit. I know he wasn't necessarily real big on that match. He's not a big fan of Gunther. I thought the match was great. You got 3 hard-hitting guys in there, so tear it up, Bizarre Bro Breaks. I hope you had a nice weekend. Yes, I hope you had a nice weekend as well. I hope that I have the energy this week that you had in that one photo you posted on Instagram. I believe you said, though, that tapped you out for the week, but that was fantastic. Ours most likely going to have for 2 weeks. Okay. Gonna have it for 2 weeks. Okay. And I will just have to adjust. Like I said, my plan was to adjust with my other phone to be able to hit the chat, and I don't know where I put it. I think it's over by the sink, but I don't want to walk away. Shane Show agrees with me. Jay would be the perfect choice story wise, but they won't do it. I agree. They won't do it. Well, Boar popped in here for a second. Got to head to work. I appreciate it. Well, Boar, have a great day. Guys, if you have not checked out Well Boar's first YouTube video, he posted a haul. Fantastic, fantastic haul. A lot of 90s goodness in it. I absolutely love it. A lot of DC in it. I hit Doc's cars. Let's see. Everybody telling everybody hello. Fantastic. I'm glad you guys can come hang out today. The coveted 420, and I believe you said because you wanted to celebrate in style on said day. Hey guys, Manny the Hobgoblin Collector is in the chat. Manny, fantastic. Every time I post my haul videos or I talk about certain storylines, DC related, Manny is dropping some knowledge. I thought Manny was a Marvel guy, but clearly, he is a closeted DC guy. He is pointing out some fantastic points in the storyline. He'll talk about certain panels. He will talk about certain things that happened, certain things that were said. I believe I pointed out the Teen Titans storyline, and he pointed out a line from there when Dr. Light did something, and it's like, yes, I remember those things. Like, I'm going to revisit all that soon, because I am going to force myself to begin to do a big read through. Fanboy Prime. Oh wait, that's my name. Boyd is what I was trying to say. What's up, Boyd? Man, it's good to see you in the chat. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you have a good week. I hope everybody has a good start to their week. Why will it not let me highlight this? There we go. My round 5 of questions are out, Fanboy, and I'm interested in hearing yours and Lady Prime's answers. Okay, cool. Me and Lady Prime have not filmed a video the last 2 weekends. We need to get on that. It just has not worked out for whatever reason. Like I said, and the schedule change. Man, so I got very, very little sleep last week because of the schedule change. It's one of the reasons why, like, I'm not in a hurry to go into work tonight. Like, my original plan was to go into work. We're behind. I saw some of the the workload on the days I was off. I really don't want to deal with it. I really don't. So we'll see. It's a hard thing. I said this earlier. It's a hard thing to go into work when you're not scheduled. And so I don't know. Oh man, and I did forget to show this off last week. This is from the Corpus Christi trip I took on the not this past Friday, but the week before. Went to Ollie's. I am looking for those bags, those mixed bags, those blind bags, whatever. Well, not blind bags, but you know, the collector bags that everyone shows off in their YouTube videos. Like, I want to get one of those so bad. I saw them one time when I went years ago. I didn't buy it because I saw the books that were in there, and it was almost like the same variation of books and the multiple bags. And I was like, I held off because I had bought in some other things before that. Went to Ollie's, like I said, the Friday before last. Did not find any of those bags, but I will always find trades, sometimes hardback, but you know, mainly the trade paperbacks, the graphic novels, whatever you will. And they're always great priced. I don't normally buy them because I'm more of a floppy reader, but I could not pass up on this. This is Mark Waid's Flash. This is book 2. Pretty thick book here. I believe it collects Flash 69 through 79, Flash Annual number 6, Justice League Quarterly number 10, and Green Lantern 30, 31, and 40. So I am not the biggest Mark Waid fan in the world. I have read a book here or two, maybe a multi-part storyline here or two from Mark Waid's run during the Flash, but I always hear good stuff about it. Flash is one of my favorite characters. Man, I would love to go back and find this issue of Flash. I do like that they include the covers. That's an awesome cover. So I would like to. Well, I'm going to read through this, and we're going to see. We're going to see how I feel. I believe Mark Waid is the writer for. Is it Kingdom Come, which is one of the best stories ever. So I'm not saying I completely shut down Mark Waid's work. I know that everybody praises his current run on World's Finest. I've got a few issues there, so I'll check that out. we'll see how this book goes. Like I said, I'm more of a singles reader. I'm not reading much at all, so maybe I'm just adding more to the pile. But I did do pretty good with the Daredevil storyline. I need to go back and finish the last issue. I'm partway through, but I do want to go and finish that Tower of Babel storyline. Fantastic Comics and Arts. Good morning, good afternoon, all. Fantastic, Neil highlighted Phil. Manny, I grew up with Nightfall / DC Animated Universe, Identity Crisis, but because of budget and space, mostly focusing on Spider-Man Marvel. Oh man, that Identity Crisis storyline is fantastic. That was when I was kind of getting back into comics. And so Identity Crisis, a version of the League getting together to talk about, what shenanigans happened and whatever. If you guys have ever read Identity Crisis, if you've not read it, there is a death of a minor character / death of a minor character's wife, I guess you would say. I don't want to say minor character. Let's say a B-list character, maybe C-list character, and his wife is killed. And so, see, Manny's going to go ahead and spoil it. I was trying not to. But yes, Sue Denby, the elongated man's wife, is killed. The Justice League, or a version of a previous Justice League, it's not the current league, is getting together. And, they're going to search out Dr. Light because something happened. Dr. Light is going to employ Deathstroke, and Deathstroke is just going to run through this version of the Justice League. Man, Phil loved Identity Crisis. My first foray into DC after coming back to the hobby. Have originals, also have a hardcover that I got signed by Mags Morales. Fantastic. I know there is an absolute edition of Identity Crisis. It's a beautiful collected book, but I love the floppies. Identity Crisis, man. And maybe it's the same thing, similar situation to you. I was coming back into the hobby, coming back into comics. Love that storyline. I know some of the longer time readers and some of those who read books maybe back in the day, not necessarily a fan of that story. They do not like what happened, when we find out why Dr. Light is linked with Sue. I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool that, these comics had an edge, because that is a very, very edgy story that goes on. And I don't know. I can always understand why people like things the way they used to be, or like the stories the way they used to be, why they wouldn't like it, but I loved it. That was my DC. So I looped that in with my DC love from 2002 to 2007, something like that. I'm going to officially figure it out what it is one day. But when Deathstroke runs through that Justice League, it was my first I had read some Deathstroke books, had, some information on them for, like I said, the cards back in the day. But I did not know Deathstroke was that awesome. That book just showed me that Deathstroke is a level threat. I believe he stabs Flash in the knee, to negate his speed. Does something to negate Kyle Rayner's, ring. Just awesome. I don't know what else to say about it, but it really sold me on Deathstroke, and so now I'm a huge Deathstroke fan from here and then. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. Dr. Light, just the name, always threw me off. He's a DC villain, but also the same name as the guy who created Mega Man in the game. That's true. And then there's a hero, Dr. Light. There's a hero and a villain, Dr. Light. What I really, really liked about DC Comics around that time, and what I liked about Identity Crisis, is it kind of explained why these characters that I always thought were silly, it kind of explained why they were silly. And then it kind of made them become threats. They were vicious threats, like Dr. Light, just like you said, the name. It's kind of okay, well, whatever. What's his power? He can turn off the lights. But he became a threat. And man, and so all these characters, because what they did, what that Justice League did through Zatanna back in the day, just lobotomizing all these villains, fantastic. And so now I had an even greater appreciation for the DC universe. The run of Jeff Johns on Flash, where he would do the rogue profile every so many issues. I know there was one for Captain Cold. There's one for Heatwave. There was one for Mirror Master. He spoke, through these villains. I mean, that whole issue is the villain talking to your reader, explaining their background, explaining their faults, explaining, perhaps that they want to be a good person, but they're stuck in this life. Like, man, it just gave these characters so much depth, gave these characters so much personality. I fell in love with the DC universe and I haven't looked back other than when I get out of comics. um, Man alive. So awesome, Phil. I'm glad that, I mean, just from the chat now, we have this background, a connecting point in our fandom. So fantastic. Fantastic. Hold on one second, guys. Hope I'm not probably looking like I'm sweating. I have the AC up because I don't want to make too much noise, but I've got another one on. So going back to WrestleMania being this past weekend, I thought night one was fantastic. I thought there were 3 or 4 legitimate matches that everybody could say were match of the night. Dominic Mysterio versus his dad, Rey Mysterio, was a great match. The ladies match, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, I believe for bottom tier collector, that was his match of the whole event, both nights. I thought the tag team title match of the main event was great. It's not often you see a tag team title defended in the main event of a WWE pay-per-view. I thought those 3 matches were legitimate matches of the night. There may even have been a 4th one I'm trying to think of. I guess maybe some people really, really liked. All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by, Mr. L. Austin Theory versus Cena. I know some people like. Night 2, I didn't think was as strong. They did a match, Brock Lesnar versus Omos, a giant. I thought they missed an opportunity there. Brock Lesnar gets the win, but it is the most impressive I've ever seen Omos. The Hell in the Cell match, I didn't think it was as strong as it should have been. They had painted chairs, painted weapons. I kind of threw me out of it. The women's match was okay between Asuka and Bianca Belair, but the main event I think delivered, although it may have started a little slow. But you have the whole idea of in-ring action is you're telling a story, and so I thought the main event ended strong. But the big news coming out of WrestleMania, like which they say is perhaps one of their biggest events of all time, is that WWE has agreed to terms with Endeavor, which is the company that owns UFC. So you've got WWE and UFC under the same umbrella now. We'll see how that goes. I mean, anytime we have a merger or a sale, things are going to change. Things are going to change. So, and I know David's Comics and Wrestling posted in his community tab that it's never going to be the same from now on. And I commented on his tab, his post, that for better or worse, I mean, things could wind up way better. Things could wind up way worse. We don't know. We'll have to see. I do know that there will be changes because that's just the nature of mergers. That's just the nature of sales. That's just the nature of business. And we'll see. One of the knocks that a lot of people have said about UFC is that their fighters are always complaining about being underpaid. Is that going to now transition to the wrestling? Your active roster? Are they going to be individuals who complain about being underpaid? I don't know. So we'll see. But for better or worse, yes, it will never be the same again. And so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, it's not going to be immediate. We're not going to turn on the TV tonight and not recognize the product. If you have not been a fan of the product for the last few months, few weeks, few years, it's going to be the same thing you're going to see tonight. That we will see, though, as the times change. I know for myself, personally speaking, have not been a huge fan of the product. It just is what it is. I do enjoy the pay-per-views, and I will continue to watch those, but I'm more of an AEW guy. And so, making sure I'm caught up on the chat just because going through the phone now, and I want to make sure. Okay. Take care, everyone. I need to prepare my pretend listen face for a Zoom meeting. And so that's what Lady Prime's doing a whole bunch of his Zoom meetings. And so I know that that feeling, Manny. I've had to have a few Zoom meetings in the past year or two. And so what I'll do is we do it on the tablet. I'll set my tablet up here, and then I'll put my phone right here where they can't see it. And I'm usually playing a game. All the information they usually give me during that Zoom meetings is it applies for the company at the whole, but that's not how things work. Maybe it should work that way, but each individual business establishment is gonna run differently because each one has different problems that they have to deal with. Each one has different situations that they're gonna deal with that the other place isn't. And so yes, the umbrella can say, hey, it needs to be done like this every time, blah, blah, blah. It's just not going to happen that way. It's just that's the way it is. And so, and plus, it's just a regurgitation of information I already know. Don't feel like I need to be there. I'm not so distracted that I'm not participating in the Zoom meeting. In fact, I'm probably still one of the most vocal participators in those Zoom meetings than everybody else that's there. But yes, that is my strategy. Charge my phone and have something to entertain me to get through the the meeting. Oh, and there was something else I was going to highlight, but no, no, I guess not. Um, all right, Neil. So you already said, and anybody in the chat, man, if you guys have a recent video you've dropped, if you have a recent video you want to promote, something that's already come out or something that is coming out later in the week, feel free to go ahead and do that. Like I said, this chat is not just me talking; it's always been engagement with you guys. Today, I believe I'm going to drop another haul video. This is a haul video from the La Mole Comic Con there in Mexico City. My friend Cheap Dollar Comics for Sale 2 over on Instagram. She went there with her family. I know a cousin or an uncle. I'm not sure how that breaks down. They went there and they picked up a few of those con exclusives. Well, they picked up a whole bunch of them, but there was 4 for me. Well, actually 3. One, she kind of set me on the condition that I pay her whenever I can, and so fantastic, fantastic. I'm glad that I have a friendship with her, and that I was able to get this extra book. I mainly picked these books up for possible giveaways. I'm not the biggest like exclusive variant collector, although there is a few Superman ones I wish I had. So I'm gonna drop that video soon. It's 4 books from that con that she picked up for me, and they are previously used covers. That's the thing with this con. Previously used covers. They're allowed to print so many of them, and then they're usually foiled. And so, uh, an example, uh, the first appearance of Omega Red, or I don't know if it's the first full appearance of Omega. Anyways, it's the Omega Red cover with Wolverine and Omega Red on the cover. Where they're battling. There's a foil version of that versus your regular version. Released here in the States. I'm sure one was released there at the time, but they did the full exclusive reprint, and so I picked up 3 of those, had set aside, sent her money for that, and then she picked me up an extra one or sent me out an extra one, and like I said, I'll pay her for that when I can. I also got 5 extra books from her. I believe they're from 1982. It's a 5-part storyline, Crisis on Earth Prime. So wanted to read that, was able to pick that up from her, and so I will show that off in a haul video shortly. 22 Comics in the chat. What's up? How's it going, man? I know that you on something tonight, or were you on something last night? Was it Between the Lines? I know that you are going to be doing something soon, or you already did. One of the two. I busy weekend, and so I was on Instagram, in and out. I was mainly in direct messaging with Super Russ, with David Comics and Wrestling, and with Bottom Tier Collector. So I wasn't necessarily seeing all the posts going through, but I did see your name and your picture showing in some things. Man, sorry, little parched. Okay, it's tonight. I knew it was Between the Lines, and like I said, I'm not familiar with that show. I'm normally working on Monday nights, normally working on Sunday nights. So Sunday night through Thursday night, I'm not very active, or I'm not able to see a lot of or active in the live chats. I'm not able to participate in those. Gotcha. Okay, you canceled your Monday live to go draw with them. So are you gonna just cancel it for the week, or you'll hit it up later in the week, reschedule it? And so, man, that's fantastic. I hope you have a good time there. Are you any kind of artist? Because I can tell you this: my stick figures, half the time, they look like trash. Sometimes I'll knock out a Jim Lee style stick figure, and but yeah. Oh man, alive. Busy day to day. Another reason why I'm not sure I'm going into work tonight. Ollie James has a game. Oh man, and speaking of Ollie James, okay, on my Saturday stream, I mentioned that one of the stray cats we kind of watch, whatever we feed, she had four kittens, and so Ollie was real excited to um, to have these kittens. He loves little things. He loves little creatures. We got him a new hamster recently. I'm trying to train that hamster not to bite. Ollie's not the biggest fan of that. So, oh, nice. Thank you, Neil, for supporting the community. Awesome. Just cancel that. We'll be back normal bat time Monday. Okay, fantastic. Looking forward to that. I should be able to watch it. Like I said, probably not going to work. I don't want to put that out there into my head, but I'm probably not. Oh man, alive. Let's see. Fanboy, what's your favorite cover of all time? I don't know. Like, man, alive. You can't ask if you don't have an answer, Phil. That's always been my policy. Been drawing since I was little, but that doesn't mean I'm good. uh, I don't know, Phil. There's like varying degrees because nowadays there's like the painted style, even though it's not paint. I guess they're using computer programming, the computer paints or whatever. Like Matina, like there's that style, and I dig it. What kind of covers are we talking about? You're just talking about favorite cover of all time, period. Oh man, hmm. I'm a big fan of Superman. Hold on, Superman 79. Okay, she still uses or still uses real paint. Period, sir. Look at this. Period, sir. I'm a big fan of Superman 79. And if I had my laptop, I would bring it up. Superman 79, Cyborg Superman on the cover holding the flag that's kind of shattered and torn. Dan Jurgens, white cover. So, uh, yeah, I said she. I'm sorry. His work is amazing. Top five artist for me. Fantastic. I'm going to go with Superman 79. It's just such a striking cover. I also am a big fan of Justice League America 69. Red background, Doomsday battling the Justice League. We're talking about like Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Bloodwind is on the cover. I think it's Ice or Fire, one of the two, or Guy Gardner. That era, I don't know why. Those are some of the earliest books I ever read. I think those are fantastic covers. If I'm a big fan of Adam Hughes, he he has the ability to make some great covers. There is the mugshot Catwoman cover that I do own in my collection. Superman cover starts. Hater. But no, those are just those two '90s books, the Justice League America and Superman 79. Those are some of the earliest books, and I just remember thinking how cool they were, just awesome. Looking at it now, there's no background to them, but they still stand out and they're amazing art. Going to the Adam Hughes, is it Catwoman 46? I'm not sure. Where she's posing, the mugshot where she's holding the Gotham City thing, and it's got those numbers from Lost. Uh, maybe exposing a little bit of her assets. Beautiful cover. I think Adam Hughes's Catwoman covers, in addition to how they've written the Catwoman character over the years, I think Catwoman is I'm going to say it and then it's going to sound weird, but is the sexiest character in comics, like, period. um, for whatever, like, just, the idea of tiptoeing the lines between good and bad. And plus, I'm a fan of short hair. And so, like, how she's drawn. But Adam Hughes does some fantastic covers. I do like the JSA Classified #1, also Adam Hughes, where Power Girl is floating in the air, floating in the clouds, laid back like she's floating in a pool. Phil, am I allowed to ask what your all-time favorite cover is? 22. What do you have? Vomiting from my Superman covers. What would you say? What would you guys say is your all-time favorite cover? What's up? How's it going? Good to see you, man. We are just hanging out here. What is this? Let's see, 25 Perez TTM. Hopefully, I said that right. Live action, live action. Um, did Turtle Man? Was that was some TV show where Turtle Man or somebody would say live action or something like that? My stepdad used to watch some ridiculous shows and got we lived with him for a while, and he would show me all kinds of TV. And so, yeah, man, I appreciate you stopping by. It's just a little bit of a hangout, kind of a quiet day. Normally we have around 10 to 12 in here, but it little. Hold on. We have a little bit of a quiet day here, and that's cool. I've done a real bad job of advertising the show. Fantastic Comics and Art. Catwoman is a great character, but I feel like they haven't quite made a great Catwoman story yet. The Batman Catwoman special and Lonely Day stories have been the closest, in my opinion, so far. I I can't even tell you who was writing Catwoman during the time of the build up to Infinite Crisis. That is most of my Catwoman reading. A lot of those when Adam Hughes was doing the cover, maybe Pfeiffer, I think. I enjoyed those stories. I know she had an issue with Black Mask, and in fact, they lead to where she basically kills Black Mask. I was a fan of that. So if there hasn't been a great Catwoman story, I don't know. That's what I'm used to. I'm not in the. I'm not 100% sure Catwoman should be a character who has her own books. Like she should be tied with Batman. I think and I don't know that there should be Robin books. I know that they eventually branched the characters off, but I think Catwoman, Batman, there's that dynamic there. I was 100% on board for Catwoman and Batman to get married during King's Batman run. I was for it. I was like, yes, let's go. Let's do something major. We can always have something along the lines where that's erased. We can always have something along the lines where continuity change, whatever. DC is notorious for it. So why couldn't we have it for a little while when those two were married and just see how it played out? Favorite live action Catwoman is Halle Berry's Catwoman. That's that's Mrs. Philtastic's. There's a joke there. I will eventually accept the Catwoman challenge and watch the Halle Berry Catwoman. I have not seen it yet. I was telling Phil a few weeks ago I watched the trailer. Man, that it was tough to sit through the trailer. Philtastic Comics and Art. Oops, wrong one. Don't know the number offhand. It's a Marvel Comics Presents with Wolverine standing over Venom. Sam Keith cover. Okay, I know the era you're talking about. Sam Keith, he's very unique in his art. I cannot say he's one of my favorite artists, but I will say that he has a style that you recognize, and he has a style that is his own. Same thing with Rob Liefeld. I know there's a knock on him for his feet. I know there's a knock on him for pouches. I know there's a knock on him for how he does, but you cannot say he does not have a unique style. He does not have a style that can draw your eyes. Whether you're there to bash it or whatever, he has something that is not. It is above the norm, I guess is what I will say. Tom King starts vomiting noises. No, I really enjoyed the Batman run with Tom King up until about issue 50. And then for whatever reason, he had it in him to let's just totally destroy Batman. Let's totally destroy this character. I don't know. I don't know. It's not a knock on him for his feet. It's the feet he gives everyone else. Fair enough. What bothered me about Rob's style is like the scratch artwork. But he has a definitive style. Like you can go open go through some books and you'll know a Rob Liefeld cover when you see it. I cannot diss him. Like I said, I do not have the drawing prowess of anyone to be able to say anything. Same as King was all for the wedding. I'll say this on the Catwoman field. It helps you appreciate comic films now compared to then when they didn't know how to approach a comic in many cases. That's a great point. And that is exactly what I thought when I was watching that trailer. My thoughts were that Warner was trying to make Spider-Man with that movie because they didn't know who Catwoman was. They were trying to make a movie where a character's flipping around, all these special effects, and they were trying to make Sony's Spider-Man with that movie. So yes, Bill, I get what you're saying. Definitely an appreciation for how everything is nowadays. Bottom tier collector, I'm just here to hang out. Didn't watch night two except to see my guy Drew McIntyre, so I don't want to cloud cloud chat with negativity. Um, night two was all right, man. Night two was all right. We're kind of just talking comics right now. I've already kind of gone through my thoughts on WrestleMania. Comic movies until Iron Man 1, in my opinion, are designed to sell merch. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point when you think about all those Kenner Batman toys. And it's crazy to think about that you would have Batman Returns. The only Batman toy we owned, like, and I say me and my brother owned during those Batman movies, was a white suit Batman. It was Arctic whatever, or I don't know, Arctic Blast Batman, or whatever. He was in his Arctic armor. And how many times they reused that same mold to give him neon colors, to give him blue colors, stealth attack Batman, walking through lava Batman. Just how many times you got a Batman toy just in different colors. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. And so bottom tier today, I am strictly on my phone. Lady Prime took the laptop and probably will have it for the next 2 weeks. I made a mistake. I did not put my camera on this side because I'm charging my phone. And so now when I go to try to highlight the chat or scroll through the chat, you'll see my thumb, and my bad. Just had a talk with Richard about Batman Returns and the toys last night. What are your thoughts on Batman Returns? For the longest time, it was my favorite Batman movie. Looking back, though, looking back, I don't know. I don't know. I still sit and watch it, but it's not something I constantly return to anymore. Should have given us a slobby fat man figure. Well, and that's the funny thing with the Penguin figure was like an offshoot of the Toy Biz Batman toy that they had released, or a Toy Biz Penguin toy, almost like the Superpowers Penguin. His style. They did not make him look like the Penguin from the movie. So I don't know. Oh, really? Batman is greater than Batman Returns. Wow. I, I have sitting through Batman one time. If you're streaming on your phone, I need to get with the live streams. Well, that's what I was telling you, bottom tier. I tried to message you, and I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you did. Maybe you forgot. I don't know. One of these days when you're off and I'm off, and it doesn't have to be off work, just because it's not going to be that long. We can connect, and I can give you a practice run through the the live stream process. It'll just be me and you that see each other. We won't go live, and that way you can kind of you figure out your tools and figure out how you want to best do it. I suggest going through StreamYard, just because you could go through StreamYard and then you can put your live streams through YouTube, and then that's how I'm able to highlight the chat. I tried doing a live stream directly through YouTube one time. It was garbage. David, Comics and Wrestling. What's up, David? I guess without spoiling anything, because 22 Comics did not. I'm not sorry. Bottom tier collector did not watch all of WrestleMania Day 2. Sounds like a date is being planned. Your thoughts on WrestleMania weekend? I know night 1, I give it a thumbs up. Night 2, I give it about a 3/4 thumbs up. So yeah. I mean, that's not a date, 22, but I'm just trying to help a guy out. I got a lot of help from Super Russ 9000, and he didn't have to do that. I will always be a Super Russ 9000 guy. And I know he even helped bottom tier. He helped me out when he didn't. This is a guy with 1,000+ subs, and here's some random guy on Instagram asking questions, leaving comments on his Superman videos. And so I will always, be appreciative of Super Res 9000 for doing that for me. And I will always, be one who wants to help out, And I know you are too, man. I know, you're just knocking balls right now, kicking me in the balls while we're talking. So, David, Comics and Wrestling, kind of agree with you. Night 1 was the better night overall. Yes. And I think the way they did it this year, instead of cramming so much into night one and cramming so much into night two, kind of keep the card, smaller. I think there was only 6 or 7 matches per night. I thought it was perfect. Thought it was it was a 4-hour show, and it didn't necessarily feel like a 4-hour show or a 3.5-hour show, whatever you want to call it. Bottom tier collector, the real crappy Bat movie with Arnold Freeze. Arnold Freeze. I'm sorry. I know you're talking about Mr. Freeze, but the Arnold Mr. Freeze. Just how I read it in my head. I'm just with Arnold Freeze is my favorite, not Nolan Bat movie. All the bad lines make me hee-haw. Penguins with rocket launchers, and I have early memories of Taco Bell bat toys. I remember the Happy Meals. You would get the car, and so you had the purple Catwoman car where the tail shook. You had the yellow penguin on a duck where the umbrella thing went. I never got the Batmobile. I was a little upset with that. Yes, that's me, ball kicker. So my thoughts on it, and I feel like 22. Like if anyone's gonna agree with me, I feel like bottom tier collector probably agree with me too. And this is how I do it at work, and kind of like with people I like interact with on here. After we reach a certain point, if I'm not busting balls with you, it's either because I don't feel like you're that kind of person who can bust balls. But like if this is more at work. At work, if I'm not busting balls with you, it's probably because I don't like you. Like it's just how it is. I'm not talking about online. This is at work. Like if I don't feel like I can joke around with you, if I don't feel like I can give you a hard time, and hey, in return, give me one. Like let's lighten the mood. Let's keep the energy up. You're probably not one of my favorite people. And then there's people that I know that they're not like that, and I can still get along with them. But I don't know if that makes sense. Batman and Robin is magical. It's just like watching Batman 66 if you're a fan of Adam West Batman. You cannot hate Batman and Robin. It's been a while since I've seen Batman and Robin, and I know Ollie wants to watch it because Bane's in it, and Ollie's a big Bane fan. Fanboy Prime. Oh, man. If you're a Superman fan, have you checked out the Digging for Kryptonite podcast? I have not. I have not really big on listening to podcasts, and it's not just I'm against it. It's just what I find already is what I stick to, and so but I will look for that. I'll check it out. I know that Bottom Tier has mentioned a few podcasts. I know there's, I believe, one that deals with Crisis to Crisis, and it's basically talking about Superman's run from at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths to Infinite Crisis, and I may have listened to an episode of that. Yes, real friends bust balls. I absolutely agree. David's Comics and Wrestling. Here we go. Rey Mysterio versus Dominique is on my top 10 all-time WrestleMania matches. The only match of the weekend that made made that list. It was a man. That's fantastic, David. I was about to ask you what your favorite match of the weekend was, so that's good. Guys are meant to joke around. I agree. I knew this was coming. Here it is. Bottom tier hating. Oh, God, David. No, send that kid to Bubba Ray's wrestling school. Dominique's entrance was fantastic. I can't believe they let him out of jail for that. I hate Batman and Robin. The hell you say not big on podcast? I need to check yours out. And I remember we were talking about this last week, 22. And it's not that I'm not big on podcasts. It's that I've got so much on my plate right now. And I know that's a terrible excuse. Got so much on my plate right now. And look, the stress, that cold sore right there, the stress. And so it's just right now like sticking with what whatever, a comfort thing. But I want to add yours 22. And like I said, I've listened to clips because I do want to give you the support, man. Like you come into my chat. I don't know why. And I appreciate it. Like you're here to lend me your support, man. And you and I were competitors for best new channel at the Comic Book Collector Awards. And so I appreciate it, man. 22, you're awesome. Bubba Ray can go through a table first. See, look at this. He's boycotting my stream now. Super Russ 9000, what's up? Holy, you talked to Super Russ 9000. Super Russ 9000 is the best, man. Like I said, I owe Super Russ 9000 a whole lot for the success that I have in my channel. I feel like Russ, he's gotten me started so much. So, um, and I'm always there to help somebody else out. So, bottom to, like I was saying, I was extending that to you. We can figure something out and try to help you get set up on how to do it, and then I can kind of explain certain things that I wish I had gotten with someone to help me with. David's Comics and Wrestling. If they don't do a new friend Dominique met in the Clink story, they should close the company down. David Comics and Wrestling. So what do you think? The sale / merger. I agree with your post. Like, for better or worse, it will never be the same again. Super Russ 9000. You watched both nights of WrestleMania. Go ahead and let us know. Let the chat know, what was your match of the night. You know, each night, what was your favorite match of the whole event? 22, I appreciate you and your channel, fanboy. It's fun, and I like messing with you. I appreciate that. You know what I like about your channel? When your wife shows up and gives you a hard time. But no, no, 22, man. I appreciate you, man. It's been fun. I've got to say, man, the decision to go to YouTube, it's one that I sat on the fence for so long, because you're putting yourself out there and you don't know how you're going to be received. I still have some trepidations, you know. I still have some, you know. I feel like, oh man, you're not putting out the content people like, you know, because I had some videos that were great, and then, you know, we talked about this a little bit last week. You know, my stuff, it goes down a little bit. My wife makes those videos. She's the best. Yes. I gotta say, you know, when Lady Prime shows up, it's a different animal. And I tell you what, I feel like she's definitely helped me a lot with the live streams, because I do have someone to banter with. Remember, this Monday stream originally started out with me and my friend Nightwing 207, who's going through some medical issues right now, and hopefully one day me and him can go back to doing that, because it's another way for me to keep in touch with him. He was my comics buddy when I lived in San Antonio. But when Lady Prime is here, it's good that we could just she could put me down, and we talk about her past. Cannot really stand UFC, so this merger has me wanting to. I hear you, man. I don't know. I don't know. The best part of WrestleMania was 22 minutes. 22 minutes in. Chavo Guerrero should return to spin off that Eddie Ray custody battle feud about Dominique, and then I might care about Dominique. Oh, man alive. The Creative Team Podcast is a great wrestling podcast. Oh, you know what? And you highlighted me. I don't remember if it was on Instagram or Facebook, and I do need to check that out, right? They kind of do like fantasy booking, I think you said, or like how they would have done it. So I do need to check that out. Super Russ 9000, night 1, it was KO and Sammy versus the Usos. Night 2, it was the Intercontinental Triple Threat match. Bottom tier collector is about to give you the business, Super Russ, because he wasn't a biggest fan of either one of those matches. Bottom tier collector, I was hoping Vicky Guerrero was in that Cinemoji suit, and they were going to do a "This Is My Real Mom" thing. Man, that would have been great. How would time they did that? I'm sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I've got to get that better set up next week. Dude, I enjoyed WrestleMania weekend. It was good to have it. I'm glad I requested off work. Good to hang out with Lady Prime and do that. She made wings, and we planned to do nachos, but we didn't even make it that far. The wings were good, and just good shows. Trish hitting that Stratisfaction was my favorite thing about WrestleMania. I'm gonna say this: Trish was looking healthy. I'm not a fan of current day Trish. I like younger Trish. She did some changes to her body. I feel like she's too leaned out, but whatever. But Trish was doing some callbacks. So not bad. Lady Prime, I'm back. Are you on lunch or what? Trish hitting that Handstein Frankensteiner outside the ring was awesome. The camera was out of position though. Oh man, so hopefully they'll fix that with the re-edits then. I talked a little bit Saturday morning about how we ordered the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. As soon as Lady Prime comes back, we're talking about Trish. because she downsized. He was upset. It's not only that, her body's different. Like she leaned out. It's the same way with Jennifer Aniston. Early seasons of Friends, oh, Jennifer Aniston. Later seasons of Friends, when she leaned out too much, like, come on now. Like, I just, eat something. Give her some ice cream or something. I'm finally eating for real now. Well, so were you on break earlier when you were in here, or were you just taking? I mean, were you on lunch break when you were in here earlier? I knew, I knew why he didn't answer. Uh, the main event ending really took the wind out of it for me. It felt like it killed all the excitement for the event. I don't know, Super Russ. I was in collecting with Durz's chat earlier in the day yesterday, or I guess it was like right before WrestleMania. And I don't know. I was trying to just troll, and I put Roman will reign after WrestleMania. He's taking it, and it was more of a troll job. And then I messaged David with comics on David's comics and wrestling. David's comics and wrestling on Instagram. I was like, dude, I think Roman. Like, as I just started after I said it, I was just like, it seems like it's geared too much towards Cody winning, and I feel like they're gonna like overthink it. And sometimes you go with what it like. Sometimes it's okay to just go where the story's gonna go. You don't have to swerve it. But I felt like they were gonna swerve it. So see, and that's what I told Lady Prime, but she says she's just wearing a push-up bra. But I don't know. I felt like I don't know. I felt like she was I don't know. Like Rodney Carrington says, I like my women like I like my chicken, a little fat on the end. All weekend you were. All weekend. You talk Lady Prime up to what superpowers are these? See, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It was like it was. It's called Stratisfaction. I agree. I agree. Now I just need Lita to go back to 2006 Lita when she was with Edge, and man, I'll be a wrestling fanboy again. See, look at this, man. All the I felt like that was a Vince. Oh, that's right, Russ. I remember you messaging me right after it. I felt like that was a Vince call. I'm thinking The Rock agreed to a match, so they're saving the belt for a washed-up has-been. I hope I am wrong. Hey, Steven Spencer's in the chat. Guys, if you are not a fan of Steven Spencer, give him a view, give him a follow, give him a like, whatever, give him some support. A big horror fan, does a lot of unboxings. Steven Spencer is a big time Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan. And so he'll show off some of the merch, some of the things he buys. It's fantastic. I'm a huge Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan. Maybe my fandom is going down a little bit because Ollie is all about it now. And it's like, no, we don't need to hear that song for the millionth time today. No, we don't. But but yes, fantastic. Man, the Intercontinental Belt match had a whack finish. So you didn't like that he powerbombed him on the Drew McIntyre and then powerbombed Drew McIntyre? Like, I don't know. I get it. Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's son, should be the one to eventually take it from him. I got to watch more Braun Breaker. I did see, what was the event, David, where Braun unified the NXT title with the NXT UK title? That is probably the last NXT I've seen. Braun's good. I don't know. I can't watch NXT the same way that I used to back in the day. Here it is. Bottom tier. I didn't like Gunther with the patented miraculous recovery. Okay, so that is, and Lady Prime had mentioned this like a month or two ago, maybe weeks ago. We were watching, I guess it was when we were watching WrestleMania 20 because it's a triple threat match. But that is the WWE formula. Yes, NXT Worlds Collide. That was it, David. Thank you. I think so. But that's the WWE formula. If they're going to have a multi-man singles match, whether it's triple threat, whether it's fatal four-way, fatal five-way, whatever you want to call it, everybody's going to get hurt, and then you're going to have just the one match going on, for the TVs. For the TVs. For the TV viewers is what I was trying to say. And then, yes, like you said, the miraculous recovery, the pin breakup, it's going to happen like that. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure Roman has taken an extended break, so no championship for several months. They need to split the titles. I don't know if you're still going to treat the shows as separate entities, then the titles need to be split. If I don't know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows what I'm talking about? I don't know. I try to not be the it should be this way kind of guy because I know how I would book it, but I'm not a booker. So Elimination Chamber is the worst at 2 minutes at a time. If that is the case, Russ, Roman needs to forfeit the title. Cramps don't get break. Oh, champs don't get cramps. I was trying to read what you wrote down there. Champs don't get breaks. We know Brock Lesnar would beg to differ. I'm old school. One belt and one guy to rule them all. I mean, I don't mind secondary titles, but it's got to be understood that it's a secondary title. What I do hate about secondary titles, and this bothers me. All right, David, have a good day. I appreciate you being here, man. David, hope everything's okay. I feel like I haven't seen you as much lately, and I haven't seen you post much to YouTube lately, but I hope everything's going good. It was good to be talking to you this past weekend, and hope to see you back posting videos. Where were we going? Oh, the one guy, the one belt. Like, okay, secondary titles are fine, but what I hate is when a former world champion will go down like Drew McIntyre. He hit that world title level, stay there, but he's wrestling for the Intercontinental title, and I don't know why that bothers me. It's just, I don't know. I was hoping Sheamus would win, but Gunther is a beast and a future world champion. And see, that's what Bottom Tier doesn't want to hear. Gunther's going to be the guy to take the title off of Roman, ain't he? I need the hardcore title back and the cruiserweight. Yeah, I agree. But I need the cruiserweight WCW style cruiserweights and not WWE cruiserweight style because it's basically heavyweights. It's smaller guys wrestling a heavyweight match, and I don't like that. I need like WCW cruiserweights with Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko. They're running around. Everything was just fast paced, and that was the difference between cruiserweights and the main roster back then, or the cruiserweight roster and the heavyweight roster, if you will. Oh man. Bottom Tier, how much time do you have today? If you're about to leave, I'll I know normally you're heading to work around this time, but if you're not, I'll stay on a little longer. I know I have to get Ollie soon. Oh, and I'm out of my drink. But yeah, fun weekend, WrestleMania weekend. Okay, you got to go in like 2 minutes. That's what I thought. Lady Prime is a big fan of the time limits. I don't know how I feel about that. If you're gonna have it, it needs to be on every match. It's got to be something they utilize quite often. I don't know. I do wish wrestling felt more like of a sport. You can still do all the nonsense stuff and the storyline stuff and the soap opera stuff, but like when it's in the ring, make it feel like more of a sport. I don't know. Bottom Tier, did you ever figure out New Japan? I think it's called New Japan World is their streaming service, but it's out of Japan. So if you do it on your computer, you have to get it. You got to put in the translation things and whatnot. So, oh man. Well, guys, I have been organizing my comics. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Got them in filing cabinets. Getting a whole filing cabinet dedicated to Superman. And I know that 22 is gonna, vomit. But yeah, so it's pretty cool there. I'm gonna have one dedicated to the books that I need to read, and I don't hope it doesn't fill up that much. And then eventually one of stuff that, and it's time to wean it out of the collection. I saw like 4 submission holds night one, less like a sport. Peace out. Be good, everyone. All right, Bottom Tier. Have a good one. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you, guys. Thank you. The Monday Hangout, man. Appreciate you guys hanging out and to give me some time to just unwind. And like I said, I don't have the in-person friends doing comics with lately. So it's good. It's good to hang out with you guys. Superman, your Superman is my Iron Man. Enjoy your books. Fantastic, dude. I didn't know that was your big thing. So, well, I mean, are we talking about you try to get I mean, how extensive is your Iron Man collection? Is there a certain thing? Are you trying to get every issue? You're trying to get like 200 on or something like that, or whatnot? And if you've posted in a video, I'm sorry. And if you've seen it, if you've said that before and I forgot it, my bad. I would be cool with Jey Uso bringing the storyline full circle and being the one to beat Roman in a few months. But if it's The Rock, I'm done with WWE. I'm full on board with Jey Uso doing that. All right, 22. Have a good one. Have a good one. I'm going to go ahead and drop out. Super Russ 9000. Appreciate you being here. David, bottom tier, Lady Prime. Shane was here earlier. Brian LCS was here. Had a few Mr. L. 25 Perez, I think it was here earlier. Phil Tastic was here asking some tough questions. Tough questions. Maybe next week I will dedicate the hangout to favorite covers because that was a rough one. I'm not sure if I answered it correctly. I have every volume except all of volume 1. I am currently working on it and have less than 80. Man, fantastic. Fantastic. Phil, thank you. I've got to go try to figure out that Sam Keith cover because I know he did a bunch around that time period of Marvel Comics and Wrestling. Marvel Comics Presents. I want to say I had some of the issues when Cyber was there. I think he's the one with the adamantium arms that kind of secretes the poison. So I can remember some of that Sam Keith art. But guys, you guys have a fantastic day. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I need to go take care of a few more chores. I don't think I'm going to go to work tonight, but I do want to get some things done around the house. So with that, I'm going to let Ollie take y'all out.
Video. Say thank you for watching. Subscribe.